Good morning, everybody. Welcome in to the right side of campus here for Tuesday, December 11th, 2018. I'm your host, the big man on campus. Another day, another dollar here at SBRpicks.com. We get you ready for another week in football bowl season coming up, getting started this weekend. We got some hoops to talk about tonight and more. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. Let's bring in our co-host, Donnie. Donnie, how you doing?
Yeah, doing good. Hey, look, this is where you earn your money, right? Tuesdays in December, where not much going on college basketball, NBA, hockey, they really don't kick up until after the new year. So this is where we're going to earn our money, Jeff. You're on an hour show and break down one football game from last night and see what we can maybe come up with for the rest of the show.
I'd love to know in Donnie's world that basketball doesn't get started until January.
Nobody pays attention to that. Yeah, ratings really kick in after January in the NBA.
Actually, everybody pays attention to it, Donnie. But everybody on their mother bets it, but you. But it's okay, all good. You haven't. Maybe you had figured out because none of.
Take a look at this super exciting card in college basketball this week. Come on, man! Around the holidays, nobody's watching. Like, who we watching? Like, who do we even have tonight? Let me just take a look. Colorado, New Mexico.
Listen, Donnie, listen. I'm trying to explain this to you. Maybe we don't watch it, but people are betting on it. That's the thing. So, that's kind of. I know you don't, just because that's your style. But I hear you. They're not great matchups to watch, but I think people are betting on them. Let's welcome everybody in. Hope you're having a great Tuesday here. Who do we have in here so far? A couple people. Make sure you hit the like button and say hello. It's still early. I know usually people start ushering in here around now. So please hit the like button and make sure you're supporting everything SBR has to offer, whether it's the odds section, it's the YouTube channel. Keep in mind, the YouTube channel is one of the biggest in the sports betting community, over 51,000 subscribers. Also, check out all the great things going on at SBR Picks. A lot of great write-ups and blogs and stuff as well. Let's get in to the show. We start out with Bryce Harper, talking about him again. Bryce Harper, according to his agent, there's a team that isn't being talked about that may have a shot with Bryce Harper. Listen, I still think it's going to come down to the Dodgers and the Phillies. The Phillies make total sense from a geographical standpoint and what they're going to offer and what you're going to want out of Harper and what he can already see with that team. But that Dodger team's still interesting. I mean, not far from his home. I believe he's from Las Vegas. Already a tailor-made team ready to win right now. I think it comes down to those two teams.
Yeah, one would think, and I always like the Scott Boras fictional made-up, watch out for this team who's an absolute mystery, because you know why, Jeff? It's a mystery to even Scott Boras that the team even exists at this point. I think we know the major players in this game, and bringing in a 14th team into the negotiation like the Colorado Rockies, can't we just get it over with and done? You know what the guy's going to make, anywhere between $300 to $350 million over 10 years. Can we just put a bow tie on this thing and get it out there and stop saying, ooh, there's a mystery team in it, and watch out, there's an owner specifically flying in to meet with Bryce Harper today. Who gives a damn? Just get the deal done. We know what the dollars are. Just pick a team and let's go.
Are the Astros the mystery team, Donnie?
Who knows? Exactly. Watch the mystery team be like the Florida Marlins sign like Bryce Harper. Now, that would be a good storyline.
Listen, he's going to the Dodgers or the Phillies. It's that simple. Yankees are out. He's not going to the Astros. He's not going to any of these shitty teams. It's Phillies or the Dodgers. You would agree with that, right?
I mean, you would think, like, on paper, and then you see, like, the headlines. Like, look, if the Nationals didn't already wrap up Bryce Harper when they had their exclusive negotiating rights, they're not going to wrap it up. They're like, ooh, don't count out the Nationals. No, I already counted out the Nationals. How you like that?
So we'll put Bryce Harper on a back burner until we figure that out. Yeah, because I mean we could talk about it time and time again, but by the way, Donnie, the Phillies are seemingly interested in everybody. They're going to make a move.
The Phillies can apparently trade for every single player in Major League Baseball and sign every free agent, according to these national writers.
Yeah, I noticed that. It's like every player. Phillies have interest. Well, then do something. Grab somebody. the refs, Donnie. I was doing my show at night, so I didn't see this, but according to you, the refs screwed up again last night in the Monday Night Football game. Another big missed call.
Yeah, and it might look, and then we're getting down to the nitty gritty in the season, Jeff, where every win and loss matters to what team and heading to the playoffs, and people get fired and lose their jobs. But somehow the refs, most of the time, don't lose their job. It was a 6-0 football game, and Bobby Wagner jumps over the pile on a field goal
Oh,
attempt,
right. I
launches
saw
himself,
that.
putting 2 hands down, blocks the field goal. And my favorite part about this is, Jeff, my favorite part, the refs throw the flag because they saw it, right? Oh, that's a flag. That's a penalty. They talk about it and then say it's not a flag. Did your mind play a trick on you, ref, when you stared right at it from 10 feet away and saw it, and then you threw the flag and you said, well, maybe not because, a 230-pound linebacker can just leap over buildings apparently without touching anything and block field goals? If that were the case, Jeff, wouldn't every single field goal get blocked in the NFL every single week, right?
Yeah, I did see this, and wait, so they threw a flag initially on that?
Yes, they threw the flag. They met and they
Jesus
said no
Christ.
flag. Yeah,
Then they
exactly.
picked the flag up.
Just
Jesus
like they do
Christ.
every single year in Seattle. Seattle gets
Well,
away with
I was kind of
murder,
wondering
literal murder at home. Yeah.
when I saw that play. I kind of wondered how that wasn't a penalty. Usually that's leaping, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You can't. If you are maybe if they signed Michael Jordan back in 1991, where you just have him run full speed and he has a 40-inch vertical and can just jump over everybody clean and block a field goal. But big guys with football pads can't usually jump over 6-foot guys without making any contact with them.
Yeah,
And it was so
yeah.
apparent and clear. It should be a reviewable play, like a game that big, because keep in mind, Jeff, it's 6-0. It's 4th and 9. It's a 15-yard penalty. That puts the Vikings 1st and 10 driving again. And who knows? Maybe they score a touchdown on that drive and take control and win the football game and make the playoffs. Now they start going back on the outside looking in because of major, major calls. Isn't that what we're here for, Jeff? TV, replay. Get the catastrophic play correctly called, and they can't get it right. I don't understand.
Let me ask you, Donnie. I noticed in that game last night. So the Vikings go for it inside the 3. There was
Yes.
4th and goal. They go for it. They don't get it. Next drive, they then kick a field goal. Why not just go for it? I don't.
No, they didn't kick a. Oh, I see what you're saying. It was farther out, though. I mean, you're talking about a 48, 49-yarder at that point.
Yeah, but I
4th
mean,
and
you
9.
needed a touchdown regardless. It was only
No,
5
it
minutes
was
left.
early. It was really early in the 4th quarter, though. You're not 4th and 9 is a lot harder to make, than a 4th and 1 on the goal line. And then if you don't
Isn't
get it on the goal line,
Isn't jumping over the center illegal? Isn't that a penalty always?
no, you're allowed to do that, but you can't touch anybody.
Right. Yeah, I don't.
As soon as you make contact, that's a personal foul penalty. And
Right.
and apparently they just thought he just went scot-free over there and blocked it. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I'd have to re-see it, but it looked like
And
it's
it
very
should be banned.
difficult.
Give me legs out there. It should be banned. Why is that play not banned? Jumping this, you can't leap. You can't, you see in college football, you can't. The wedge on the punt. Let's just say, and they snap it back. The 3 guys are in front. You have to run into those guys. You can't just physically jump over them. It's a penalty. What you should make just in the rules committee in the offseason. It's illegal to jump the line of scrimmage. You can run up to the line and jump straight up, and that's it. Can we just do that, please?
No, you're totally right. I'm seeing the video, Donnie, of it's on my timeline of it's only showing the sideline of the Dolphins as that play happens, and they're
Yeah,
just
it's cool.
walking
Is
around.
that the one from the stand? Is that the one from upper deck in the
No,
stands?
no,
They
it's
showed, or no?
right on the
This
field.
side.
Like someone's
Oh,
almost,
okay.
it's zoomed
Yeah.
in on them, on the other sideline.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting view. I'll retweet it here. It's interesting because they're all just hoping, they're just watching, and they start seeing it, and their eyes get bigger, and then then they start going nuts.
No, that would have been a cool spot. You're in especially a home stadium for that because you can hear it. The ones that I like are the ones that are showing from the one person sitting in the upper deck in the end zone angle, and they just see the whole play coming to them, and everybody's getting wild. It must be pretty cool. I can imagine Jeff being in MetLife Stadium when Deshaun Jackson just housed it on the last play of the game versus the Giants. Must have been dead silence in there. Must have been great.
Miracle at the Meadowlands, number 2. Let's go to LeBron and Dwayne Wade. So I'm guessing this was the last game for these two to face each other. Dwayne Wade's retiring.
Yeah, I wouldn't put that. I mean, Dwayne Wade will probably play another 17 years with the Heat, so I don't think it's the last one.
Yeah. I guess this was, you know, huge because Dwayne's supposedly going to retire, but other than that, it was just a regular game in December. Um, Lakers win, don't cover, win by 5. I think they were laying 6. So a tough beat if you had the Lakers last night. 28 points for LeBron. Great news, Donnie. And he did have a triple double. He's 1 rebound short of a triple double. So you don't think Dwayne Wade's going to hang it up? Seems like it's time.
No, I mean, like these stars like to stay in the spotlight, travel with their boys, and stay in 5-star hotels. He had the choice for like the last 3 years just to retire, and for some reason, I guess Wade County down there, the 305, just says we always have unlimited funds for you. We don't really sell that many tickets, but as long as we have you there, we might pick up a couple more seats out there, and we're not going to win much, but at least we have like a face for the franchise. Wasn't he going like to China last year and I got to talk it over with my family for like 6 months before I decide? He'll do that again next year, and he will play next year.
I think it's time for him to move on. I think he'd be quite good as a analyst. Put him in that group with Paul Pierce and Chauncey and those guys. I think he'd be good with that.
No, he's a very personable guy. Yeah, he's very personable.
Sharp guy, personable, as you said.
Hard to hang it up,
What
though.
else?
It's hard. Like, if somebody's going to pay you like $10 million a year and you get great travel and, different cities, different women, different restaurants, and everything's taken care of for you, I wouldn't give it up. Same thing like a boxer. Like, you're in front of 17,000 people and they're going to pay you $20 million a fight. I'm not hanging it up either. Jeez, I'll string it out.
Yeah.
As long as somebody's paying me, I'm in, man.
He's still a good player, too. I mean, he's
No,
slower.
he is. He is.
Yeah, he's definitely slower, but he's still a good player. Good point, Dan. Yeah, I mean, why hang it up if you could still bang it out? But he is getting older, and he's got a family, and eventually your time runs out. Paul Pierce needs help big time. Yeah, he does. He's bad. Paul Pierce stinks. 4 Alabama starters on the All-America team, Donnie. Who were they?
Yeah, let me bring that up. It was, I know, Tua actually didn't make it, Jeff. He was on the second team. Let me see if I can get my ESPN broadcast up here.
And they hate Tua. Tua gets no respect.
Not good enough, Jeff. So I guess Murray, I believe, made the first team again. Tide plays 2 players on each side of the ball, Jeff. Outland winner Quinnen Williams, receiver Jerry Jeudy, offensive tackle Jonah Williams, and safety Deontay Thompson made first team. Tua Tagovailoa was second team All-American quarterback with Dwayne Haskins, third team quarterback.
Jerry Jeudy, man, that kid's a player, man. The receiver.
I like him. Yeah, I do like him.
He's really good.
He's got a lot of Marquise Brown in him. Those guys are very similar type players to me. Really good game breakers.
Welcome into the show. Hit the like button. Get in the chat box if you're out there. Now, Donnie, I know last night we had one of those dislike things come. We had about 50 dislikes and all sorts of comments after the show. So maybe the disliker guy's back. So, hey, come to our show. Do that here. It's good for ratings.
No, we don't like beat it.
What?
Beat it, the dislikers. We don't like them. Just hammer that thumbs up on all these shows.
Well, it gives you a view every time they dislike it. So it's actually good for views. How are you betting Chargers Chiefs? We will get to that probably Thursday, I would think. Monday Night Football. We're recapping. Not sure what we're really recapping though. What a dreadful game to watch. If you watched.
Yeah, I mean, it was good defense out there, but I think it was more inept on the Vikings' overall offensive scheme, which, they wanted to crown DeFilippo with some genius, and his offense looks absolutely pedestrian with some pretty good weapons out there. And 57% now is what the winning percentage, I believe, is now that the Vikings get in. Get into the playoffs. There's going to be a lot of unhappy people in Minnesota if they miss the playoffs this year with all the hype coming in, signing Kirk Cousins, paying him $84 million guaranteed, and getting this as a sort of outcome because the defense is pretty good. That offense just isn't moving the football whatsoever.
Now, Donnie, I don't know. Did you watch like the real end of this game, like the last 3 minutes, or no?
No, I did not.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I was, for whatever reason, it was on in my living room, and I was just sitting there on my phone. I was kind of listening in the background. Not really sure why I was still watching it, but I was. I got to tell you, Booger McFarland was making some terrific points last night, late in that game. I mean, not normal for him, but he was. Him and Witten were talking about the DiFilippo and Zimmer, and how there seems to be a lot of like aggression between the two, and how on earth you're paying Kirk Cousins $84 million when he's nowhere near worth it. They were making some really very valid points, and yet you kind of think, I mean, Blackjack Fletcher hates Kirk Cousins. I know I'm not a big fan of him either. You got to admit, Donnie, $85 million looks like a mess right now. This guy can't win any big games. He's a hack.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the quarterback position in the NFL nowadays, isn't it? Like if you're a free agent and you make it to the market, you will be wildly overpaid despite whatever you do. If you're a free agent with no franchise tag, these guys get paid ridiculous sums of money because that's just the going rate. Like if you wanted Kirk Cousins, you knew you had to pay him this, and he deserved it based on the free market that if you don't have a tag, 28 teams are going to dip in and say, hey, how about we sign you? And Minnesota comes up with it. They thought they were just a quarterback away. So they went out and broke bread and paid a ton of money for Kirk Cousins. And this was supposed to be the year for the Vikings. It wasn't like, hey, let's just get him ingrained and see what happens. No, you went to the NFC title game and you thought you upgraded a quarterback. So therefore, you're going to take that next step, and it backfired on him. Still some season left to play and see if they can, round it up, because they do have a good defense. And if they get hot, they can score some points. But right now, it looks bad.
Seahawks 8-5, Donnie. They are hanging around, and all of a sudden look like maybe a playoff team. That team looked terrific on defense last night. Russell Wilson continues to be. I mean, Donnie, Russell Wilson, what a competitor, man. What a great quarterback he is. I mean, he never has like anybody as far as like. Have they ever had like a big player, a big play receiver? Big play anything? I mean, he just gets it done.
No. I mean, they had Marshawn Lynch, and it seems like they found their own new Marshawn Lynch in Carson, who's a really good running back, and they flipped the NFL on its head by saying, you guys go ahead and pass. We're going to run it 50% of the time, and we're going to play really good defense. But my timeline is littered over the last 5 years saying there's no amount of money sufficient enough to pay Russell Wilson for what he does for the Seattle Seahawks franchise. He's worth his weight in gold on that football team. If Russell Wilson doesn't play for Seattle, are they just out of the playoffs every year? Pete Carroll's fired. Maybe they move the franchise, whatever. He is worth his weight in gold every single year, and all he does is make big plays.
Please stop talking about the players being overpaid. Just real ignorance about the sport. Settle down, Seven Alley. We're just talking. I don't think Kirk Cousins is worth $84 million. But again, if you really get down to the crux of it, I guess it does all about the market, Donnie. We're just commenting on it.
Yeah, no, there's nobody's really worth that money at the quarterback position unless you're looking at low. If you're getting paid $84 million, you better be the end all be all on your football team. You know what I mean? If you said right now Patrick Mahomes is worth $84 million, I said, he's not worth $84 million. He's worth $184 million right now. So Kirk Cousins getting
Donnie,
a lot of money. He's supposed to be driving that ship over there.
Now, Donnie, you think Mahomes is? How many quarterbacks do you think are worth that price tag? Like off the top of your head, 5 maybe.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's probably a top 5. Drew Brees, Tom
Aaron
Brady,
Rodgers.
Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Maybe you could say Phillip Rivers. Maybe. I mean, he plays good football, but
Wentz.
Not yet, because he doesn't have the pedigree yet. Like we're just going up, and the only reason why I say was, well, Donnie Mahomes doesn't have the pedigree, but what they're doing right now, and you just watch it, where it's like a plug and play offense where he's just absolutely letting it rip. That's why I included Mahomes, because he's been so damn electric. He's going to throw for over 50 touchdown passes this year. 50 in his basically first year of starting. Man.
Let me ask you, Donnie. With over here in Philadelphia, obviously you listen to Missinelli and all these different shows. You read Twitter. What do you say to the people that say that Eagles should go to Nick Foles?
That's one of the same people that were saying, maybe you should play Sudfeld instead of Foles in the playoffs last year. Had a chance at the Super Bowl. I mean, come on, man.
I don't
Carson
think
Wentz is a
people quite
really good
understand
quarterback
that.
in the NFL.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know if they know, but if you put Nick Foles back there, you still don't have a run game, or the play calling's still bad. Nick Foles. Give me a break with Nick Foles. I love those people. Those outside. I'd be on Periscope. Put in Nick Foles. He'd be way better for this offense. Oh yeah, that's what it is. Nick Foles.
Especially especially when you go against a pass rush where he just can't get out of the way from anything. So that would look real good. That would look real good against the Cowboys. Yeah, on Sunday, putting Nick Foles back there.
Yeah. Carson's very elusive. I love how people are knocking Wentz, like Rashawn Brown. If Wentz is worth that, then so is Mark Sanchez. Shut up, dude. Carson Wentz is almost the MVP.
Carson Wentz was the NFL MVP last year and blew his knee out. Less than a year back, comes back, and he's playing good football. I mean, there's nothing. Is he playing elite football like he's the greatest in the NFL? No, but he's a really good quarterback.
People are so quick to throw Carson Wentz out because he had one or two bad games. But by the way, guys, listen, he doesn't have a running game. Nothing. He has no run game. The play calling's been disastrous. Has he made has he missed some throws? Yeah, he has. But look, this is not Carson Wentz's issue. Carson Wentz is not the reason the Eagles are 6-7. Okay? I hate to tell you. Give me a break, Nick Foles. Stop. Nick Foles had a hater. He played well, but we know what Nick Foles is. And he ain't Carson Wentz. Stop comparing. There's actually people down here comparing Carson Wentz to Mark Sanchez.
I was just trying to get under your skin on that.
I don't think Wentz is fully recovered from an injury. That could be true. Could very well be true. Seems like he's tentative, Donnie, in running the football. He doesn't want to get hit.
I don't want him to run the football, and I certainly don't want him to run the football this year. Because what's the point? Hey, Carson, get that extra first down. You're not going to the playoffs. Nah, I'd rather you do that when we're actually making a Super Bowl run at this point.
Yep. Vikes, 57% chance to make the playoffs. Donnie, it's funny. I'm also seeing on Twitter that by the Vikes losing, like my boy Tom Kelly, who I love. Come on.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
Guy,
yep, go ahead.
I mean, Tom Kelly. So let me kind of set the stage of who Tom Kelly's basically he works for WIP. He's a radio guy in Philadelphia, and he's a look, I got to give it to him. He's a positive guy. I love him, but he tweets this out last night. I know it's crazy, but a Vikings loss keeps the Eagles very much alive. And I'm just kind of thinking like, well, Tom, it's time to give it up, bro. Like, they're not going to the playoffs, and I don't really want them to go to the playoffs at this point. Like, they're not good enough. They're not going to win shit.
Like my dad says that, boy, I would have liked to see them beat the Cowboys. I said, Dad, whether or not they beat the Cowboys, they still weren't going to the playoffs anyway. What's the point? There comes a time sometimes, like now that we finally have a Super Bowl, it's really Super Bowl or bust. Ooh, if we make the playoffs, you never know. No! Did you see the Eagles secondary? The Rams? Look, the Dallas Cowboys absolutely shredded the secondary of the Philadelphia Eagles this past weekend with Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper and a running game that they couldn't stop. So let's fast forward to this. A better quarterback is going to play them with a better offensive line, with a better running back, with a better head football coach, and with a better set of wide receivers in really good weather. Let's see the Eagles do something about that. My goodness.
Now Donnie, I am a bit irritated, though, because I'm going to San Antonio on Sunday, right? So I leave around like 1 o'clock. I get there like 5:30. Yep. And I get there, and I'm thinking like, all right, this is going to be perfect. Like, I get there, I get my stuff. I go to my hotel, my beautiful hotel. I check in. I go down to my the guy I know down there. He's got a nice bar restaurant. We watch the game. It's perfect. Now I'm thinking it's like, fuck, man. This game ain't going to be great at all. It's going to be fucking shitty. I don't care about this game. I'm going to watch the Eagles get fucking torched all night. But I guess I can watch it and bet on it and bet against the Eagles, and it's not going to be that bad a night, I guess.
And then we'll see this 9-point spread as the week goes on, and then we'll talk about it and be like, ooh, that's too high for the Eagles. And we'll have that whole game that we get around and stuff. So, but just on the outside looking in, it just feels like the Rams. 9 is a lot, and the Eagles will play you tough, and I get that. But where are the stops coming from for the Eagles in this game versus the Rams? Like, where are the stops coming from?
I mean, I guess you just bank on like Jared Goff just plays like he did the other night. I don't know.
But you need a secondary for him to play like that. You need linebackers to do that. I mean, the Eagles have a really good front four and get pressure on the quarterback, but outside of that, there's nothing there. Just run a couple streak patterns, just air it out all night long, and it's a wrap.
So Do they have a chance to make the playoffs? The Vikings, I guess they do.
I mean, we'll talk about that at the in a couple minutes. There are a couple teams like some dark horses we can take a look at. I mean, do they have a shot? Yes, they do, but it doesn't look too good for them right now the way they're playing football out there. That's for sure.
Yeah. Let's get into college hoops. We got a couple games tonight. Not much bigger of a card than last night. You got a few more games, but not a ton here, Donnie. Last few days in college hoops, not a ton going on. Let's get into a few games. What do we got, Donnie?
Yeah, it's interesting because now everybody turns into a Pennsylvania Quakers expert, and they know everything about Central Florida, and they love Wyoming. So a 4-game card in NCAA basketball tonight. We got a Big 5 game in the city of Philadelphia. How about this one, Jeff? Villanova, Penn. Nova only laying 7 in this game. So obviously Penn, I guess according to this number, is Penn the second best team in the city of Philadelphia since it's only 7?
That's a good point. Well, I mean, keep in mind, Donnie, both those other games were in Villanova. This is in the Palestra, but still,
There'd be more Villanova fans than Penn fans.
I agree. I agree with you. But here's the thing, Donnie. Do I maybe think that maybe they are the second best team in the city? I mean, this Penn group is playing really good basketball. You look at their losses, a Power 6, a Power 5 team in Kansas State, actually a top 25 team in Kansas State, and a Pac-12 team in Oregon State, which was a neutral court. So, they beat Miami. I mean, they've beaten Northern Iowa. They've beaten George Mason. This team's actually pretty solid. They're terrific offensively. 31st in three-point percentage, very good from 2. Do a nice job as far as not, they don't get beat up. They don't turn the ball over a huge amount. The one knock on them is they're not great for the fouling. But this is kind of an interesting game because both teams are playing really well. Villanova's riding a terrific defensive streak. I mean, they are really getting the job done. I mean, they're just really battening down the hatches on defense. You look at Villanova, though, most of their offense, Donnie, comes from the 3-point shot. That's kind of interesting here. They're shooting, I think 52% of their field goals are from 3, which is a huge amount. I think that's top 5 in the country. So you need to be a team that could stop the 3. And that's one of the reasons that Temple University couldn't get the job done. And the only knock I had on St. Joe's the other day was, could they get enough stops from 3 to stop Villanova? They ended up losing by a point, and that was that. But you look at the Quakers, Donnie, 60th in the country in 3-point defense. Very good against the 3. They do a nice job of generating steals. They're just a team that I think can slow Villanova down. And I feel like in the third time's a charm game here in Philadelphia, can one of these teams knock off Villanova? I don't know if they can knock them off, but am I getting a full 7 here, Donnie?
Full 7, and it looks like I don't know if it's going higher. It's a -115 at a lot of outlets out there, so it looks like it's probably going to creep higher. Pinnacle opened up 6.5. Chris opened 7. And look, people are just going to see that, and there's 4 games tonight. I expect people just to absolutely unload on Villanova. Penn? Who the hell is even Penn? That's not even Penn State. That's what most people probably think.
Yeah, listen, if it's me and I'm looking at this game, I think Penn are too good offensively. I would take a shot with them here. Plus the 7.
And it just moved to 7.5. Just went to 7.5.
Yeah, and I think Donnie's got some real valid points on waiting on this. I mean, I think for most of the lay basketball fans, they don't know that Penn is this good offensively. They don't know any of this kind of stuff. They just see Villanova against Penn. That's got to be an easy blowout.
Because every time Villanova shows up against another Philadelphia team, they just eviscerate them on a night-to-night basis. So now you're just saying, 7? We win by 10 easy. And that's what the MO is going to be.
Yeah, 7.5 looks really strong here. I mean, you're getting over 3.5, 3 possessions here with a team that can score the ball. They do a nice job defending the 3. I mean, basketball a lot of times all about schematics in these kind of games. Can the other team bother the other better team? I think they can. The tempo also, Donnie, Villanova going very slow, which is interesting. This should be, I think, a low-scoring game, low 60s. I'll say it's like 62-57. I'll lean that way. I'll take the shot with the points here.
Yeah, no, it should be interesting there. Colorado and New Mexico a little bit later tonight, 9 p.m. tip, 73% on the Colorado Buffaloes. Line opened up at 4.5, 5. Sitting at 5, 5.5 now showing up on the board. So a decisive clear-cut favorite here, a public favorite at least, will be the Colorado squad tonight going versus New Mexico. Any thoughts on this one? Over under high. Looks like we get some points. 166.
Yeah, Colorado has been quite a surprise this year. I mean, against a kind of a maligned schedule. I mean, nothing great here to really report on. The one loss coming to the Toreros of San Diego. Yeah, but Colorado, the number's going to be high. They're very quick as far as possessions are concerned. New Mexico doesn't defend anybody. I mean, New Mexico are really bad defensively. That's one of their big issues this year. They're allowing opponents to shoot, 39% from three. 2-point defense is not much better. They just don't really do much in the way of defensively, and offensively they've been okay. They've been able to get to the basket, score points. 3-point percentage has been good. This should be a high-scoring game. I mean, when you have a game in the 160s, though, I mean, it's always difficult. I got to be honest. I kind of lean Colorado. I just don't think New Mexico's anywhere near good enough defensively to handle this kind of game. I mean, they're not like middle of the pack. They're really bad defensively. I think it's a major difference in this game. Give me Colorado here. I hope they can go on the road and get the job done here at the Pit, which, Donnie, I don't believe it's called the Pit anymore. It's called the Dream Style Arena, which.
Oh, Dreamstyle's taken over out there. Didn't you hear? Dreamstyle Stadium is their stadium as well. So looks like Dreamstyle's got a pretty good foothold out there. I think Dreamstyle's a builder. I think it's a builder, like a home construction company.
Interesting. I never knew what that was.
Must be cheap out there just to lay down some scratch.
There we go.
Like, hey, what do you want out there? Yeah, there you go. Yep. Yeah.
Interesting. They make that much money remodeling. Wow.
Well, I mean, it's probably a national brand company out there, at least a division. But what are you actually paying?
Well, let me ask you, Donnie.
Bidding right?
They're
bidding right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, though, let me ask you. You have a house, and like my dad's a builder. My dad's been in construction my whole life. If I'm gonna like remodel my house or like add a bathroom or add like a patio or something, wouldn't you go with like a little bit more of a local company, Donnie, like a local feel, like the guy down the street that does, construction? Like, why would you go with like a name? Like, people do that? Like, go with like a name brand? Like,
yeah, because a lot of the times you're looking at they would have buying power being such a large company, and maybe they can do it a lot faster. Maybe the guy who's really good down the street, Jeff, who the reason why he's really good is he has a lot of work to do. And what I mean by that is, hey, we really like to get this remodel done before winter. Hey, Jeff, I got like 8 jobs this year already. I'll catch you next year. That's why. You know what I mean? Because if you're really good, you ever hear of a really good handyman and why you can't get a hold of him? Because everybody wants to use the fucking guy,
That's actually a good
That's
point.
The drawback. That's the drawback, yeah.
Donnie, one other game here in college basketball, UCF and Georgia Southern. This is a game I worry about if I'm Georgia Southern, and I'm going to tell you why. Georgia Southern almost exclusively, Donnie, offensively. You know what the goal for them is? Let's put it in the hands of Chucky Brown and Ike Smith. Let's get into the lane. Let's get to the foul line. Let's make our foul shots.
There's a big Taco Supreme in the middle.
Yeah. You look at their free throw attempts to field goal attempts. I mean, they get to the line a lot. And if you've listened to me, you'll know that I hate these type of teams against UCF because UCF just doesn't allow it on defense. They basically pack it in and say, okay, shoot the basketball, try to beat us. We're not going to let you in the lane. And let's say you do get into the lane and past B.J. Taylor or Aubrey Dawkins. You got a 7'6" player standing there saying, not so fast, my friend. Your shot's getting blocked. Get the hell out of here. That's what this defense is.
Jeff. Saw the guy in person.
Yes, we have seen him in person, and he's terrific. You look at the fact that, Donnie, UCF 21st in the country in defensive efficiency. They're only allowing opponents to shoot 40% from 2. Let me say that again, 40% from 2. That's 5th in the country. What does that mean to me in layperson terms? That means inside that 3-point line, they don't get inside that 3-point line. They're forced to shoot threes. And look at that. They're even shooting threes. You're not really effective against UCF. Georgia Southern only shoots 26% from three. UCF only gives up 31%. They're an elite defense. They just are. They're an elite defense. They don't allow penetration. This is a terrible matchup for Georgia Southern, if you ask me. And I think that's why this number, Donnie, is 12.
Interesting stuff. Yeah, no, it's a very short card. It's going to be nice, Jeff, once we get back to those days, because we're not far away, as I said. Early January, conference play starts, and you get every night bangers, huge cards. That Saturday card that we look forward to, Jeff, from January all the way through March. All those games to take a look at. Value up there. Who's in, who's out, lines moving. That's what I can't wait for. That's when it really gets fun for me, because once football season dies down and that focus shifts and saying, all right, now these games are on TV all the time. We're seeing the Big Ten, the ACC. A lot of that fun stuff's going to start. So we look at these little cards that we're getting now, around midterms, finals, whatever you may have in college right now, and it's a little bit dull. But just wait, it's coming, man. That first week of January, when everything gets full blast, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, people asking about Furman tonight. Yeah, listen, I wouldn't step in front of the Paladins right now. They're undefeated. They're beating teams up. They're playing a team in Charleston Southern who, look, I mean, Charleston Southern is not good on offense. They really don't do anything correct. And you get a Furman team at home here. I'm guessing they're probably laying 12 or 13 in this game. I don't have the number, but that would be my guess. Yeah, I'm not stepping in front of them right now. You have a lot of minor games tonight. Donnie, did it surprise you to see that the New Jersey Institute of Technology got one vote for the top 25? Did you see that?
There you go. Keep it going, NJIT. They used to not even have their own gym, and now look at them coming up strong, Jeff.
Now, keep in mind, Donnie, listen to NJIT's wins. How does this decide? How does someone vote for this team to get into the top 25? Colgate, Binghamton, Brown, Keene College, Wagner, LIU, Brooklyn, Drexel, Army, St. Francis. They also have lost to Cornell and by 23 to UMass Lowell.
Who's it? Francesa voted for him? You know what I mean? Who's the one? Somebody on the East Coast did it,
Got to be a joke.
Jerry Eisenberg. Who did it?
Tonight, maybe it was your buddy at St. Joe's, Bunker King. What's his name? Lenardi. Maybe it was him.
Joe Lunardi. Yeah. Can't wait. Yeah, that's coming. Why haven't we had those TV shows yet? They usually start them up like after the first game and tell you the percentage that like Duke can get in and what they're lined on the one line, Jeff, after night one. We could bracketology would be the correct word.
Big game tonight for the boys from NJIT. They head up into the Bronx to take on Fordham. How about this for a New York matchup, Donnie? New York basketball at its finest. NJIT against
I would.
Against the Rams. I'm not breaking this one down. I'll tell you what. Why step in front of NJIT? What's Fordham? Who's Fordham? What do they have to offer you? Nothing. Fordham's Fordham. I'm going with Abdul Lewis.
Who's Fordham? Fordham still have the was it Chortnoy? Who was the kid from Fordham last year that was always injured?
No,
there you go. Yeah.
Joe Shurtunai is at Marquette now. He transferred.
Oh, good move for him. Yeah. I always remember last year watching the Wire. Like, is this guy playing or not? Was like the key to betting or betting against Fordham.
He's actually. Okay, guys. This is kind of what Fordham best was. So he was like a star at Fordham, right, Donnie?
Yeah. Yep.
At Marquette, he barely gets into the game, and when he does get into the game, he bricked 2 free throws the other day. So.
Yeah. Who that reminds me of then? Who was the He might even still be on. I'm not even sure if he's on the team. I think he was a senior transfer. The point guard from Ohio Bobcats, who went to Michigan, and he was a slayer at Ohio in the MAC. A slayer, dominant, whatever he wanted to do, and barely saw the court at Michigan. So sometimes, because you can level up and they want you, it's not all that it's cracked up to be, man. Simmons right? Was that his name? Yeah.
Jerron Simmons. Yep. Now, Donnie, NJIT has a player in their team named San Antonio Brinson.
That's good. Where's he from? San Antonio?
I do not know. That's a good question, Donnie. We have to find that out, where San Antonio Brinson's from. Because it would be interesting if he's from San Antonio.
Makes sense, yeah. Otherwise, just like the name. Maybe he was born down off the Riverwalk or something. Never know.
It's a good question. We have to see about that. What else do we have today, Donnie?
Let's slide it down. Take a look at a little early playoff look. Like, we're making our money today, Jeff. We're 40 minutes in, and we had like 3 games total that you could possibly talk about today. So I think we're doing a pretty good job here. trying to hold it down. But early playoff looks. And when you look just at the NFC, Jeff, if you line it up 1 through 6, right? New Orleans Saints, Los Angeles Rams, Chicago Bears, Dallas Cowboys, Seattle Seahawks. I think those top 5 are pretty much cemented in. And the 6th spot, to me, actually still seems cemented in if we take a look at it, because the Vikings are 57% to make the playoffs. And that's just based on, algorithms and who should lose and who shouldn't lose. But when I look at teams like, looking in, 1 game back to Carolina Panthers, and you say, well, they have 2 games against New Orleans who are probably going to need both games to get the number 1 seed. That sounds like 2 losses to me. You look at the Philadelphia Eagles, 6-7, right behind the Carolina Panthers, who don't hold the tiebreaker because of a monumental collapse that they had in the 4th quarter. Eagles are banged up, and they're going on the road to play the Rams. It should be a loss. Now, Houston doesn't play that great on the road, so you might be able to beat the Houston Texans, but I don't see it. You'd have to run the table to get in there. And then the Washington Redskins, Green Bay Packers, and Tampa Bay Bucks are done. Just by default, Jeff, I just think the Minnesota Vikings are a shoo-in. Now, if we take a look at the Vikings, they get the Dolphins at home. The Dolphins are a pretty game team, and they're fighting for an AFC spot, so maybe they give up a fight. But you go to the Lions, you should handle that. And then the Bears, the last game of the season, which you do have home. And what will the Bears be playing for at that point? Probably already locked up the 3 seed. Don't want to get injured. And it might be a rematch right back the following week. So how much do you want to expend in that football game, especially if the Vikings really need it? Say, hey, Vikings, have at it. We're going to put some backups in and not show you anything and then whip your butt the following week. So it's kind of interesting. I think just by default, Jeff, in the NFC, the Vikings are going to get that 6th spot here.
Yeah, Vikings just keep getting more lives, Donnie. Keep getting chances. Keep trying to fight their way in. Let's see if they can handle business here. Schedule not bad, as you said. You had a Dolphins team off a huge,
yeah. No,
huge
you're right.
win.
How about these games heading into the playoffs too? If you have a matchup like the Chicago Bears, Minnesota Vikings, good one. How about the Cowboys hosting? Isn't that perfect, Jeff? Cowboys are going to get the Seattle Seahawks round 1. That team you don't want to, you know what I mean? If you had like your pick, like, why can't we get the Vikings? Why can't we play another team? You get the Seattle Seahawks that are probably going to be, granted they make the playoffs and stay somewhat healthy. They get KJ Wright back. They get Doug Baldwin back. Do you want to see Russell Wilson on turf in the playoffs, man? Man, that's a good one.
No, I would not want to see him on turf in the playoffs. Who's the dark horse Super Bowl team, Donnie, to you?
Yeah, look, just like who can actually sneak in. If we're taking a look in the end, and we're going to go NFC real quick, and then we have a couple minutes we'll spend on some AFC. If you're looking at like that dark horse team, because the Eagles aren't a dark horse team. The Carolina Panthers aren't a dark horse team to me. And quite frankly, unless Minnesota gets healthy again at wide receiver with Diggs and Thielen, they get rid of those nicks and whatever they got going on, back injuries, calf injuries, knee injuries. I don't really think they're a dark horse. Those Dallas Cowboys, Jeff, might be a dark horse if things break the right way for them. What are your thoughts on that?
You said Dallas?
Dallas, yeah. They're going to get a home game to start. And then they're going to match up. They would probably want to take on what? The Rams. I mean, they've shown you they can beat the Saints. Now, granted, the Saints will be rested, ready, and at home in the Dome, which is damn near impossible to beat them down there. But if they can get maybe the Rams somehow, playing that sterile environment out there in L.A., there'll probably be more Dallas Cowboy fans in that game than Rams fans. They got the defense that can ride it. Zeke Elliott, can he stay healthy? Is Zach Martin going to be healthy? Amari Cooper stepping into his role. If you have defense, man, that travels. That really does travel. They're a dark horse to me because it's too easy to say, oh, dark horse the Rams. I mean, come on, they're top 2 seeds.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to beat Seattle. So I'm off on that, Donnie. I don't think they're going to win 1 game in the playoffs.
Should be good. It should be. It's going to be a good one. That's a great matchup. Dallas Cowboys, Seattle Seahawks, round 1. Now that's something on Wild Card Saturday that I'm tuning into and enjoying that. Bears Vikings. What's that do for you? And let's take a look at the AFC real quick here. Let me just shift conferences. Now this one, Jeff, a little bit more convoluted. Denver Broncos blew a big shot. Not only getting injured but losing the football game that they had last week on the road to the San Francisco 49ers, not playing for anything. Now you have the Titans at 7-6 in the 9 seed, the Dolphins at 7-6 in the 8 seed, Jeff. The Colts 7-6 in the 7 seed, and the Ravens 7-6. How about that upper echelon, which teams we're talking about? Chargers 10 wins, Patriots 9 wins, Kansas City 11. But that jumble of teams right there shaking through. I think it's going to come down to me, Jeff. I think it comes down to the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts to get that 6th seed is what I'm looking at. How about you?
I love the Colts. I really hope they can find a way to get into the playoffs. Uh, Titans don't do too much for me. I mean, the Colts offensively look great. Defensively, I'm starting to be a little bit more impressed with what they're doing. Eagles sure do miss Frank Reich. He's been a great coach. It seems like they're buying into him. Colts have the Cowboys coming up here. I get the Giants. That's probably a pretty easy game. It's all going to be about that final game, as you kind of alluded to there. I like the Colts.
Ravens in that spot. I mean, that was a tough one. I mean, if the Ravens would have went in to beat the Chiefs, they would have cemented that spot because they're going to have the Buccaneers at home. Lamar Jackson a little bit banged up, but Flacco's still sitting, waiting in the wings there. You should be able to win that game. The tough one will be at the Chargers the following week. You see if they get Austin Eckler back. You see if they get Melvin Gordon back. And also in that spot, Jeff, they do get the extra break since they're playing on Thursday night and they get to fly home, get rested and ready. That's a really good football game, the Ravens versus the Chargers. But that'll be a key. But that race is really up for grabs. Who would you say, Jeff, would be a dark horse in the AFC to win the Super Bowl? The Chargers, I think, are going to give teams hell if they can ever get healthy at the running back spot. And obviously with Phillip Rivers, they got a good pass rush. It's a shame they lost Denzel Perryman and, Leggett or Corey Leggett. But outside of that, who do you think is that team that's I don't think the Titans can really make a run. I don't think the Dolphins, if they can make a run. Now, I like the Colts, but I don't know, maybe going on the road against one of these teams. How about, Jeff, if the Baltimore Ravens get Joe Flacco healthy, have Lamar Jackson healthy, and bring that defense? Why can't they make a run? You don't think they can knock around the Patriots or take on the Chiefs again? I think they can.
No, I think they can. That defense is that good. I'm not a big fan of the two quarterback system. So, again, that's kind of more for me. I'm kind of out on that. I mean, I look at all the defenses, Donnie, in the AFC, whether it's the Patriots, whether it's the Steelers, whether it's the Chiefs. I wouldn't want to see Andrew Luck, Donnie, coming into my town to play. That would be difficult for me. I don't know. I still think the Steelers, but I mean they're kind of bottling it, frankly, lately. But yeah, Chargers I'm not interested in. They never win playoff games.
Yeah, and let me play it out for you in the playoffs too, Jeff. You ready? Kansas City gets the 1 seed, and the Patriots get the 2 seed as usual because they just get gifted a bye week every year and the play at home. Just don't tell me that Kansas City's going to get upset, Jeff, in that divisional round game. And then we get to see New England at home again as their birthright because they play in such a division so junky that it's just what they do. They just get that top seed. I just want them to earn it this year. I would love it if somehow, some way, Jeff, the Patriots collapsed on their way down the stretch and the Houston Texans were able to slide up and get that number 2 seed and get the bye. Just to make the Patriots go on the road and earn it back-to-back weeks. I would love that, but it's not going to happen, is it?
No, probably not. Probably not likely, Donnie. Donnie, I hate to keep bringing this up, but I'm obsessed with these prop bets, Donnie. These crazy prop bets. We talked about these yesterday. I'm still trying to understand how someone actually thought they could eat $1,000 worth of McDonald's in 36 hours.
It doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any sense.
That's not possible. There's absolutely no chance unless you just eat. You can't do it. It's just not happening.
No, you can't. And we're not talking. And again, I preface this by saying we're not talking about a competitive. What Joe Chestnut? I'm not. I'm just talking your everyday Joe that eats regular food, and you just say, you know what, $1,000 at McDonald's. It's not happening. There's absolutely no way, shape, or form it's even remotely possible to do. It's not remotely possible.
Now, Donnie, let me ask you, I got a couple for you. Would you get into a ring with Habib Nurmagomedov for 1 round for $100,000?
Yes, I would run right into him and just let him choke me out so I didn't feel anything, and I wake up, but I didn't get hurt.
Keep in mind, Donnie, everything, you can do anything you want. He can fight you just like a regular fighter. They're not liable if you get hurt. And you have to land 5 minutes.
5 minutes? No, you said 1 minute, I thought.
No, 1 round. 1 round's 5 minutes.
No, that's just because then, but if he's just playing by correct rules, like if I just went up to him and he took me down and then just put me in a chokehold and in 30 seconds I was just sleeping, I mean, you're not going to get hurt from that. But if it's 5 minutes and he's just like, I just want to beat you and break your bones, like, no, that's not worth it.
What if you got like a month to prepare?
No, because the month that that's like, hey, I'm going to fight Floyd Mayweather. Well, I've never boxed before. That's not really going to work out against a a dude training his whole life.
Fair enough. Yeah, I wouldn't do that either.
5 minutes, good grief! That must
Yeah,
be
that's
like
a long.
like 5 years.
I'm still trying to understand how this guy played 4 rounds of golf in Las Vegas weather. That's a lot of fucking golf. That's a lot of fucking.
And
I
had to
mean, you're
walk it. I
literally.
was a caddy. I was a caddy in high school, and we would do double
Yeah,
loops, Jeff,
that's.
on like a Saturday. Like, and I mean, now granted, you had to carry 2 bags. You made really good money, but you walked a full length 18-hole golf course, hills and all, in the summer heat, and you were absolutely spent because that's about. Now, granted, he's by himself and he could play a lot faster, but the average round of golf, especially at a country club, 4 hours, sometimes a little bit, 4.5 hours. Wow, it's hard enough just to get. It's hard enough to play 2 rounds of golf in a day.
Now, Dottie, keep in mind, there were rules as well to this golf rounds. He had to play all 4 rounds at the same club. He had to walk all of the rounds back to back and carry the club, so no caddy. He had to shoot under 100 in every round. He also had to play the back pro level tees, and the bettors could pick the day he had to play. So they picked the hottest day. He ended up doing it as we talked about, but that's amazing that guy was able to do that. And this is not like a golf legend. This is like a pretty lazy poker player. Like that's pretty unbelievable, really.
Yeah, you can play at a good. I mean, if it's just by yourself and you had it already set up with like the golf course where you're just like playing through, and you're not really worried about like scoring and doing whatnot. I mean, you could do it, but that's because you're fighting elements. It's not like, hey, let me play in 65 degrees in April, a really nice day, and I have a cart. Like, no, like you got to grunt it out there. And if you're not used to it, there's a lot of walking, Jeff. What are we talking about? Like 30 miles maybe on 4 rounds of golf? Something like that. At least 25 miles walking.
Yeah, he ended up doing it. That's a
Something
long
like that, I
fucking
believe
trip.
it is, right? How long is when you walk a golf course? It's a couple miles.
I think he said. I
around.
think I read it was 18 miles total.
Yeah, there you
like,
go.
for all
Yep, that
4.
sounds right. Yeah, I was a little high. Yeah, no, exactly. That's what it sounds like. 18 miles in the heat. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, that's impressive. I never knew that guy did that. Could you lose 50 pounds in 3 months for $2 million?
I could, yes, because what I would do is I would say, all right, let's do this in 6 months. So I would actually gain 30 pounds, and then, you know what I mean? Yes, I could do that.
So that means if you're 200 pounds, you'd have to be 152 by
Yeah, see, that's hard though. So if you're 200
March.
pounds, you want to get up to like 230, 240. You know what I mean? And then drop it. That's
So
like,
you're saying
if a guy's 100, yeah, if a guy's 175 pounds, he's probably not going to be able to drop 50 pounds and live. But if you're a 200-pound guy, spend a couple months knocking down pizzas, pies, and ice creams and don't do any cardio, ratchet that up to 235, 240, then you can do it.
I love a Matt Varnum. If you're in great shape, 18 holes in less than 3 hours, 4 times a day. I mean, you do realize it was in the middle of the summer on the hottest day of the year in Vegas. He's by himself and has to carry everything. That's not that easy. Like, it's not easy at all, actually. Very few people could do that, even in good shape. I don't think it. But there you go.
A lot of golf.
Yeah,
golf aficionados would like that, man. Oh.
We're all talking about this because there is a current prop bet with the guy in the bathroom, and he's kind of trying to finish it. Running 70 miles in 24 hours. I don't know how that's possible either. That's a long 70 miles. That's like from me to here to your house, Donnie.
What to do? What? Run?
He had to run 70 miles in 24 hours.
And after like 3 miles, I'm getting blistered up on my feet, man. Stop.
That's amazing. The guy did it. With like a half hour to spare.
Ooh.
He did it in 23 hours, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Amazing. One more here, Howard Lederer, who's a poker player. He's a big-time vegetarian. Many people know that. He was offered $200,000 to eat a hamburger. He said no.
Wait, who did this?
A poker player, Howard Lederer. He was asked to eat a hamburger for.
Yeah, because he got money. That's why. Stupid.
Okay.
Okay, I don't want to eat. Like, I don't like eggplant. So they're done offer you $200,000 when you're worth like millions of dollars to eat an eggplant parmesan. Like, nah, I'm good. Because they can.
Yeah. Good point. And I've also posed this to Donnie. He said he could do it. I don't think he could, but maybe he can. I talked about this, Donnie. Could you go for 6 weeks in let's not even say Iowa. Let's say you have to go live in,
Easy.
let's say you got to go live in Idaho or like Miami or Wyoming or something. And you don't have any phones. You don't have anything. You can't gamble. You can't. You just have to.
No, see, you can't put me there though because I love fishing and doing all that stuff and being outdoors. So that would be
Okay, so let's say we'll send you to
San Francisco, Center City,
Nebraska.
downtown San Francisco, and you can't do anything.
You have no phones. You cannot gamble at all.
Yep. Yeah. For $100,000, I could still do it. Absolutely. It's not even a question. And I would roll it over.
Think about how much time you spend on your phone looking at stuff.
Yeah, but if you're going to pay me $100,000, now if you're saying can you do it for like $1,000? No, I'm not doing that for $1,000. $100,000 for 6 weeks to throw my phone in the ocean and not gamble or watch sports in a heartbeat, I would be able to do it.
Yeah, I could probably do it too if there was money involved. Yeah. Keep in mind the guy that couldn't do it, John Hennigan. It lasted about 2 days and then he came home. So, yeah, sometime if you're a gambler, you can't do it.
Yeah, Guan says Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I've actually been to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. There you go. Yeah, that'd be a tough one because you get to go to those little what are those shows called? Like they call them variety shows, Jeff. This was back in like the late '80s when I went to Gatlinburg. Dollywood's out, Dolly Parton, like that neck of the woods, Jeff, down in Tennessee. Ripley's, believe it or not, I believe is down there. But they had a lot of variety shows, like like country comedians and stuff like that. That would be a good one. That's a very good one, Guan. Put you in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
When I went to Texas, Donnie. Yeah, when I went to Texas for the Final Four, on the last day, Blackjack wanted to go to this, I don't know, fucking hill country town, in the middle of nowhere. I got to tell you, I couldn't stay there for more than a half hour. Like Wyoming, living out fucking Idaho. Jesus Christ, man. I would go fucking nuts. No fucking way. I'd go there for a day or two to see it. Probably be nice, but you got to be kidding me. No way would I ever live there. No fucking way. Donnie, you've seen White Boys?
Absolutely. Come on, who do you think?
That's a great movie.
This is why my wife laughs at me because I would rather watch those movies. And she says, "Who are you and who did I meet?" Because I'm a 40-year-old guy and I enjoy those movies. Look, I'm a young soul inside, Jeff. You wouldn't believe this type of movies the music that I like. Like, dude, you're white and 41. No, but I like the movie White Boys.
Yo, that movie's great, White Boys. Fucking Flip. That guy Flip.
Yeah.
He's like a hoe. Like
takes them into the center, into the ghettos of where they go to Cabrini Green in Chicago.
Cabrini Green, yeah. Dude, that actor that plays Flip is great, man. That dude.
Yep. Oh, classic movie, man. That is a classic.
I didn't think anyone had ever seen that but me. I thought I was the only person that's ever seen that.
Like, you're coming from a guy, Jeff, that we when we barely even knew each other. I watch State Property. I think it's hilarious when most people why are you watching this stupid movie? I said, you just don't get me. You just don't get me. You know what I mean? I love movies like that.
Well, that's the thing. When I was younger, I used to watch I used to sit here and I was probably 16. I'm sitting watching battle rap videos for hours on end. And people are just like, dude, why are you watching this? And I'm like, I don't know. I like it. Like, fuck you mean, why do I like it? And then I'm watching movies like White Boys that no one's ever seen. Now, keep in mind, Don, it opened to 37 theaters. That was it.
And it should have. And that's why I like it even more. You know what I mean? Nobody State Property and State Property 2. They're the worst movies ever made. I said, you don't get why we like these movies. It's not about the acting. It's just I can't even believe I'm watching this. And you'll watch it. But that's a great one. That's funny. That came up out of nowhere. White Boys.
This will also come off as really lame, but I actually have that on DVD. Actually.
White Boys? There you go. You gotta watch it tonight, man. Just good old time's sake.
Yeah, I do need to watch it actually. It was a good movie. But all right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. We'll finish up and we'll be on tomorrow. Roundtable. Tomorrow's Wednesday, so it's the roundtable. Have a great day, everyone. Glad you joined us. We'll be on a little bit later at 3:00, talking on the
what are we going to talk about today, Jeff? We did it all already. There's nothing to do today.
I have no idea, man.
Maybe we'll just battle rap against each other for an hour on Chicago radio.
Yeah, that's what. So when you think you want to do this, like what Donnie and I do, remember days like today where There's nothing to talk about. And I gotta,
We're
Donnie, I don't have
Villanova
to do
Penn,
one.
the best game of the night. Gee.
Now, Donnie, remember, I don't have to do one. I don't have to do two. I got to do 3 of these today. 3.
Yeah, me too. Yep. This is one down. We go on the radio together, and then I got to go on the Audible and talk early week football, which we will talk. Since there's not much going on, I will cover these NFL games for 150 hours and talk about the same games throughout the week. So yes, Jeff brings up a good PSA. If this job looks really easy, always think about days like today when you're breaking down nonsense and you just have to make it through a commercial-free hour.
Now,
And you do it fine.
anyone can go on a chat and start being the man and talking about stuff. But eventually, when you get into this shit and you got to do shit like this, where I got to try to keep a show going, where there's not a lot to talk about, it gets tough. All right, Donnie, have a great day. Thanks for joining us as always. Thanks to everyone for checking in, and we'll see you tomorrow on the roundtable. Have a great day. Bye-bye.